Hello, 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 everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes, where you will discover exactly what it is and what it's going to be. Well, before you see anything, I'm going to play this quick video so you guys can know where you can find Beyond the Cover in all places. So, we're on Roku, we're on YouTube, we're on the local channels. Right now, I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. So, I'm going to play this quick thing for you guys so you guys can see why the signal is acting up, and we're going to get right into it.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. 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 Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started now that the signal is back. So, now today's topic is distractions. So, what is a distraction? Exactly like the signal. The signal can be a distraction. But before we get into that, sweetheart, before we get into that, I want to tell you guys that I'm going to have a 50% off sale going on for the Amore Too Classy Boutique. Now, I know you're like, she's going to probably choose, the, you know, clothes that are not so good looking or whatever, what have you. But no, it's all things. Now, if you don't buy it, that just broadens up my actual wardrobe. So it'll just go to my closet. It's not nothing really difficult or, any loss of anything. But if you are wanting to purchase any of these items, like I know you've seen this red blazer dress. If you want this red blazer dress, it's originally $35, but you'll get it roughly around $17 instead of $35. Now, so that dress right here with the blazer and all of this great material, you can feel all of this, is only like $17. Now, we have this dress. This dress is usually $30, but since it's 50% off, it'll only be $15. So you can get this dress for only $15. Now, if you don't, this dress is on originally $40. We have this dress in our boutique as well. This dress is $40. But if you purchase this dress this week, it will only be $20. That's it. So it's up to you if you want to get in on this 50% off deal. That's what we're having for you guys because I have so many new items that I don't have enough room for. So if I don't get them sold this week with the 50% off, it's going straight to my closet, sweetheart. Yes. So I'll be dressing to impress. It's what it is. I love the items that I have. They're different, unique. So I have no problem with wearing these items. But if you are interested and you want to get in on this 50% off deal for these type of items, it's not no cheap looking items. These are nice, exquisite looking items. And you can be in a fashion show. If you buy one of these dresses, you will automatically be able to be in our fashion show in August. So, I mean, that's a win-win situation. You get to be in a fashion show and you get to look cute for cheap. Come on now. Can't get that anywhere. And this is only $20. It's normally $40. I had it in there for $40, but you can get it this week because it's going in my closet if nobody buy it. But y'all can get these clothes this week for only $20. Like this is only $20. That will be only $17. That will be $15. We have so many more products. If you have the catalog, it's whatever is in that catalog is what is in my store. So whatever you see in the catalog, we still have it available here. Then it'll be 50% off. So you must come in and look and purchase, schedule an appointment so I can be here to, go ahead and get you that outfit. But if not, again, some of the clothes are large and I may give it to, my mom or someone. But if not, if nobody purchased it, will go into my closet, sweetheart. So 50% off this week. So I'm throwing that out there, just to let you guys know what it is and what it's going to be. So you see these wonderful dresses, unique. You're not going to find these type of items in any store. Trust and believe. I get different items on purpose. I get what I want in the store. I'm tired of looking like everybody else. I like to look different. I like my style. I like different styles. I like the two-tone. I like the blazer/dresses. I like different because I'm different. So we're going to talk about difference. But before we get into that, today's topic is distractions. So what is the definition of distraction? Now, you do want to get your mug. Everything in the store is 50% off. So these packages that was originally $15 is only $8. You can't beat that. So you can get a mug, this beautiful thing, and a journal that you're going to need to be on this show for only $8. You can't beat that. So, but if you just want the mug, it'll just be $5 instead of $10. So we have that for you. I mean, everything in the store will be 50% off. So just for you to know that part. So you want to get your mug. This is a beautiful big mug. It says it keeps you motivated. It says dream big, work hard, and make it happen. Now, for all of you guys that are going to be at the luncheon, I'm so excited. Your $10 actually purchased you a journal. And you will get a pink journal. But that's what your $10 paid for, your journal, your food, all of that. So it's only $10 to come to the luncheon. So if you're interested, let me know because I do have a special caterer that has exquisite food, knows how to cook, very clean. I trust, I live with this person all my life. So, they will be making the exquisite food that we will be eating. I cannot wait because, I like to eat. So food will be provided. That's why I need everyone to RSVP on the website that's located down below that says cportraitsmagazine.com. I boosted it up so you can see the girl get up, luncheon. All you got to do is click on that, pay the $10, and you're in. I already have the names of the ones that already have RSVP'd. So please RSVP so we can keep record and we can have enough food for everybody. Due to it being tomorrow, that needs to be turned in today. So, but for the ones that I have already paid, I'm excited. I cannot wait to see you guys on tomorrow. You will automatically get a journal. So I'm just beyond excited because we're gonna get over these distractions. We're gonna talk about some deep stuff. We're gonna have the lady from Regions Bank to talk to you guys, see what you guys need, because she's gonna be coming in here frequently to, shed some gems to us, that we need, especially those that are in business, starting business. There's a lot of things that are changing that we have to stay up to par with so we can stay legal. So I think that's all you need to know. Now, whatever else God reminds me of, I will say. But we need to get on distractions before we get distracted on anything else. Now, I didn't get to have my actual journal because I had left it here at the building. But I was still able to write it down. That's why I said these journals are very important, because I don't like writing in notebooks that, get lost. These, I know what, where my scriptures are that I'm going to do and all of that. I'm able to write it down, and it's all in one little thing. So, again, we only have 2 of these. These are originally $10. I think these are $5 now. So since it's 50% off only this week, again, if it's not purchased, I need another one anyways to have at home. So, distractions. What is the meaning of distractions? Okay, a distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. So a distraction is a thing that prevents you, it says prevent someone from giving full attention to something else, like this signal. I can give this as a prime example, since it wants to distract us and start to mess up when I'm discussing. I haven't even gotten into the word. He's so big mad that he can't even, but he tries to prevent this message from coming. So that is a distraction, to distract you from getting the message from God. So he would try to blur the vision. He would try to distract you from doing the very thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing, and put another stumbling block or something to prevent you from doing that very thing that you know for a fact that you're supposed to do. This is not a bracelet. My kids have TCAPs, so I had to take them to the thing, and I have to keep these on. So I don't want anybody to think, oh, what did you have on? And ask me all these questions. This is just something I have to wear to be able to pick my kids back up. Now, distraction is also extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. So the reason why you're extremely agitated at work is because you are really realizing that this is a distraction off of the thing that you really want to do. This is preventing you from doing the very thing that you know that you have inside of you that you really want to do. So you are extremely agitated. Y'all can look this up since y'all like to Google everything. It says these 2 definitions for distraction. It said extreme agitation. Agitation is a state of anxiety or nervousness or nervous excitement. But you're agitated at the job or at whatever else that you're doing that is preventing you from doing the calling, the very thing that is inside of you that you love to do, that you want to do. So you're agitated because it's preventing you from doing what you want to do. But it's not that very thing that's preventing, it's you. But if you can't see the distraction and the very thing that is distracting you from doing what you have to do, you're going to continue to be distracted. Of course, they're going to try to distract you, just like they have us in tune with having to go to school and keep us distracted in one building and they had us programmed like this so that we can be distracted from the thing that we have inside. And the moment we have a feeling inside, oh, something is wrong with you. Oh, why are you acting like that? No, you can't be trying to sing during class, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. And oh my gosh, why are you, you can't tap, or, they don't realize that we are trying to figure out what we like to do. But due to the fact that we have all these distractions and we're distracted because we have to finish the schoolwork and we have to do this school and we have to do this work and we have to work for this other person and make them successful and do what they have us to do instead of what God has us to do, then, now we're agitated because the very thing that we want to do is being prevented from this job or whatever that we chose to do instead of doing what God has us to do, because we have been taught to depend on something other than God. So they have distracted us from doing the very thing that God has us to do. And if they can keep us distracted, they can keep us from doing what God has us to do. So instead of you having faith in God and trusting in God, now you have basically rebelled in a way that you don't realize because you're distracted, because you're thinking that this is the right way to live and the right way in God. But God is telling us, no, that's not my way. He said, do not be conformed by the things of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So when some people are speaking truth and telling you the truth of how to get out of this distracted mind frame, you need to listen and move accordingly. I'm not a quiet person. I know, I'm just observant. And then I, observe the room and then move accordingly, according to what I have observed. So I'm not a quiet person. I am, but I'm not, So again, a distraction is something that prevents you from doing something else, from doing the very thing that God has you to do. You're distracted. You're distracted by kids. You're distracted by life. You're distracted. I can't because life. Okay, and God gave you life, and He knows what that life that you are living and these obstacles that you are going through is to push you towards exactly where God is having you to go. But you're thinking, because you're so distracted and focused on what is in front of you instead of looking beyond the situation. You're so distracted on that part instead of looking forward or looking up at God and saying, God, where do you have me to go? What do you have me to do? Why am I here? Why am I going through so much? Instead of us complaining, which I know, I'm guilty of it, because I have, when stuff frustrates me or agitate me or what have you, like the signal, as a distraction. He uses this every time I'm trying to give a message of God to distract you off of the message. But again, we're going to continue to focus, no matter how bleared it may look or no matter how it may seem. We're going to continue to focus on the very thing that we know God is trying to get to us, the message. They're distracting you from getting messages from God. They're keeping you so focused on what they have you to do instead of what God has you to do. They have you to think that they have you to think that the way you think or anything outside of doing what they have you to do is wrong. No, you shouldn't do that. Why would you want to do that when I am providing this, and that? This is the enemy. I don't care what anybody has to say. That is the enemy. Anything that is preventing you from doing the very thing that God has you to do, that you are so passionate and that you have in your heart to do, that is not God. He is very persuasive. He this is what he does. This is how he gets you off your game. This is why you're so agitated. This is why you're so frustrated, because you know that the very thing that you're doing is preventing you from doing the very thing that you love to do. But you don't want to look wrong in the world's eyes. Who cares? I don't care about looking wrong in the world's eyes. I can care less how you view me, how you see me, what have you. Because my very caring, the only thing that I care about is how I'm looking to my Father. And if I'm doing what my Father likes. And if I'm not, then I'm going to change to please Him and not them. See, that's what we have to change our focus from pleasing them to Him. Period. We cannot continue to please them and think that we're pleasing Him. He said, choose ye this day and whom you're going to serve, and again, in your actions. So whom are you serving in your actions is what matters. You can say that you serve the Lord all day, but are you serving that in your actions? Are you doing the very thing that He has called you to do? Or are you being distracted by all these distractions that's coming your way? Instead of you looking at it as pushing you towards your destiny, you're looking at it as something negative. Well, if that's what God had me to do, then why would I have to go through all of this stuff just to get what? Joseph had to go through all of that so he can be ruler of the world. Like, come on now. If we don't, the reason why we have these rulers again over us that don't make any sense is because we're skipping the process that we have to go to be able to actually rule over people that know what they're doing. Because we're skipping processes and we're thinking of ourselves more than what we are, and we're getting into positions that we don't belong in, and wondering why the world is falling apart, or wondering why our world is falling apart in our own lives. Because we're thinking that we can do everything on our own and I can manifest it. You can't manifest nothing, period. And I'm going to keep saying that, and I don't care. Again, I'm not worried about pleasing the world and what the world wants to hear and how they want to hear me talk. Because I'm not here to please you, sweethearts. I'm not here to tickle your ear and tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what God has you to hear, period. Because when He talks to you, it's not going to be what other people say to make you feel good. This is not going to make you feel good. It's going to press you to do what is right. You're not going to feel good. I didn't feel good about how I was acting. And that's a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing. I needed to change. I needed to change my attitude. And I knew these things, but I just didn't know how to do it. And I thought I could do it on my own. Oh, I'm going to change. Oh, this and that. But no, you can't do anything without God, regardless of what you think or how you think this is supposed to go or whatever. You can't do anything without God, period. So that's just what it is. Again, we cannot keep getting distracted like this signal. We cannot continue to, when it gets blurry, to lose focus on the bigger picture. Well, I can't really see it right now. You're not going to really see it. You can't really see me right now, but can you get this message? That's what God is saying. When you don't see me, or when you can't really see me in the situation, are you still going to receive my message? Are you still going to be committed to do what I have you to do? Or are you going to, when it gets blurry, or when you can't see what I'm doing because it's getting hard and you're getting distracted by all these distractions that's being thrown at you, are you going to stop doing what I have you to do and go back to your old ways, or stick to the course, get the message, and keep it moving? That's what God is asking us to do. Are you going to keep moving? There's going to be distractions every day, all day, to prevent you from doing the very thing that God has you to do. Like, we're going to read Romans. We're going to start with Romans because I told you not to be conformed of the things of this world. So we're going to be in Romans, the 12th chapter. And, this is what God is wanting us to do. For our bodies to be a living sacrifice. So, therefore, Romans the 12th chapter, it says, therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. Not this world, but God. This is your true and proper worship. So just because you have this nice body don't mean you can just do whatever you want to do with this body, sweetheart. Sweetheart. We have to do what God has us to do with these bodies. Okay? That's what that means. He said, do not. Verse 2. Romans the 12th chapter, verse 2. Again, I'm in my Holy Bible, in the NIV version. Verse 2 of Romans the 12th chapter, it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. Meaning, don't conform, don't think that what you're doing is right when it's pleasing to this world. When you're doing the things of this world and how you've been taught by this world. You want to say that Christians or believers of God are slaves and you don't have no freedom. I'm free. I make my own schedule. I do what I want in God. Now, which is what I really want to do. You know, He is perfecting me every day, and I'm so thankful that I'll get to learn and grow every single day. In a major way. Like, this wisdom that I have is beyond. I've never had it before, but this is true wisdom. So again, beyond this distraction of this signal, we will continue to have our bodies as a living sacrifice, is pleasing, holy and pleasing to God, not of this world. He said, do not conform to the things of this, to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed. Remember, I told y'all He renewed my mind. I don't think the same or nothing. Like, He is renewing in the process, still renewing my mind, because there's still some things that I'm catching that He's renewing. Like, you almost went back to that pattern. Nope, quit that and get right back. So, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So the way that you're thinking now will no longer. You will no longer think that the job is providing for you. You will no longer do that. You will start to have faith beyond sight. Faith is beyond sight, beyond the cover, beyond what you see in front of you, beyond that. That's what faith is. So you have to go beyond the cover so that you can discover the whole story. You haven't even opened the book because you're so focused on the cover. Oh, that cover looks scary. Oh my God. But you don't see the beautiful end at the end of the tunnel. You don't see that light? Well, no, I don't see that. So I ain't doing that. I gotta work this job so I can make this money, because you ain't making no money, I wasn't making no money, So what do you really know? I thought when I was making $16.74 an hour, that I was doing something. I'm like, yeah, I'm making big money, $16.74 an hour, that was back, 7 years ago. I'm thinking, I'm making big money. But then God elevated me. He was like, you're making $150 an hour, period, sweetheart. The lowest you make per hour is the consultation, and that's $30 an hour. So that's just what it is for this wisdom. So again, it's the renewing of your mind. Yes, it's going to be harder, but this is lasting. See, that job isn't lasting. Y'all didn't see that during the pandemic when you got fired, or when stuff let you go, or when the pay wasn't lasting like it was before. That's not lasting. But what He has for you is to make you prosperous, so you can prosper on your own, not make someone else prosperous. It's the renewing of your mind. Get out of that mindset that's distracting you from doing the very thing that God has you to do. That's why you're agitated there. That's why you're always frustrated. That's why you're going to drinking and smoking, because you don't want to heal from what you're going through. Oh, I'm straight. Oh, I'm just, well, why are you smoking? Because I'm stressed out. About what? What's wrong? I thought you had a perfect job or whatever. What's going on? No, they getting on my dang on nerves and all this and that. People to try not to think, but then you wasting more money on cigarettes and drinking when you don't have the money, and then you're stressing yourself out even more, but you can't see that because you're clouding your mind and being distracted off of that, trying to puff and drink, and it's not working. It's killing you. What is it to gain the whole world and lose your own soul? You're literally losing yourself. Quit being so distracted and following and being conformed to the things of this world. Well, I know that ain't right, but we can't. I'm not judging no one, sweetheart. I'm not judging anyone. I tell you what is right in the Lord's eyes. And then that's it. That's all I can do. Whether you receive it or not, that's just all I have to do. I tell you what is right. I told you that Santa Claus is not real. That's what is right. God is real. But see, we rather believe in a fake, funky Santa Claus than to believe in the one that created us. We rather believe in the universe. That's just, but then you want to say that men and women of God. See, I'm a true woman of God. I actually live this. So I'm not telling you anything that I'm not living. So again, I have not worked an actual job in 6 years. I have actually 2 children that are still in elementary school. After the 7 years I've been in business, it'll be 7 years in May. So again, I've literally had to have faith. It's not that everything just was working out so wonderful in my life and I never got hit with anything and like that. Y'all seen me with different cars and y'all seen me doing, it has not been an easy road. I'm not going to act like, oh my gosh, it was just so wonderful. I had distractions and things thrown in front of me. Like I said, you're going to get thrown 50 million things to distract you. To prevent you from going to the very thing that God has you to do. I wouldn't have made it here if I would have let those distractions prevent me from being here. The distraction of my account looking parts before I got here. I'm like, Lord, okay, you want me to do this, but my account's saying something else. But before the day that he confirmed that this is what he wanted me to do, he dropped it. He dropped the money in there. That's just what it is. That's what it is. It doesn't look like, that's why we have to go beyond the cover. Again, I gave you the scripture last week. Look at the video from last Thursday, where he was trying to show us, how he formed the world and the world wasn't visible until after he spoke it into existence. So that should give you the reality of God. It's not going to be visible until he speaks it into existence. But he's not going to speak it into existence until you get some act right. You want all this stuff to happen right now, but you're not ready. We let Trump be in there right now, and he was not ready. He wasn't. That's not who God called for the position. We got all these people in the wrong positions that God did not call them to be. Again, they're thinking of themselves more than what they are. That's not of God again. So we're letting we having all this trauma and stuff because we're not doing the things that God told us to do the way he told us to do it. He said, be slow to speak and quick to listen. If we were slow to speak, we would have been able to listen to half the stuff that's going on in the world. We would be able to know actually what's actually happening. But no, we rather not listen, speak on things without listening to anyone that's actually going through something. But we want to speak on that person that's going through whatever they're going through without listening to them first to figure out what's going on. But we want to have our assumptions and what we perceive that is going on in their lives. And we're going to tell them what they need to be doing without listening to them. It makes absolutely no sense. That's not even the way God has us to do things. That's completely out of order of God. But then you want to tell people what to do. You cannot. because you cannot even listen. How you going to tell somebody what to do when you don't even listen yourself? How you going to run anything you don't even know how to listen? Y'all kept complaining Trump don't listen and he only do what he want to do and it don't make any sense. But that's how you look. Can we look in the mirror? That's how you look. You want to do things the way you want to do it and how you do it and la da da da, and you don't want to change it. You don't want to listen to nobody because you ain't nobody going to tell you nothing and whoop you up. I was like that when I was younger. You can't tell me nothing, and that's what it is. But God, he didn't take that away per se. He perfected it. Like, I'm not going to, can't nobody make me do anything. I've been like this all my life, period. That you cannot make me do anything I don't want to do. I've never smoked because I've never wanted to do that. I've never drunk or got drunk more than one time. It happened one time, and I've never done it again because that's something I don't want to do. You cannot make me do something I don't want to do. So now that I'm in God, can't nobody make me do anything outside of God, period. So he perfected that. He made it to be where it's pleasing to him. I still don't do what people have me to do, but I'm rebellious towards this world. I don't do the things of this world. I do the things of God. So if that's not pleasing to the world, or I don't say what the world wants me to say, I don't care, because I'm not here to please you. I'm here to actually heal you, help you grow in God, so that you know how to live in God and know that this is not right. I told you I was working. I've worked 50 million jobs: Wendy's, Cracker Barrel, Walmart, GC Services, Ross, ORNL, First Horizon. I've worked at all of these different places. I've worked jobs, period. It's not that Shanisha don't want to work. And honey, business is way harder than work. Working is so easy. I don't have to deal with it after I clock in, clock out. I'm done. That's nothing. And make a check. That's the easy thing. Then working a business and you doing all the aspects and running it, try it. Try to do it legally the right way and see how that is. Keeping up with the monthly tax payments and then the end of the year payments. And there's 2 of them that you have to do. And there's a lot more that you don't know that you have to learn. And it's an ongoing process that you have to learn. Once you get it in business, you're like, oh, I got it. And then they change up something else and you have to, but that's how God is. You get it? He's like, okay, now we're moving on to the next level. Period. I was confused at first. I was like, okay, I got it. Yay, Lord, yay. Now we can get this. He's like, okay, now we're going up to this level. I'm like, oh my gosh, I finally got comfortable at this level. He was like, I don't want you to get comfortable. That's the problem. You keep wanting to be comfortable. I'm not going to allow you to be comfortable. You're going to go on to the next level. So this next level, I'm really going to be uncomfortable. I thought I was uncomfortable talking in front of this camera. But now that I done got comfortable with this, he's like, oh, now I have to, this Beyond the Cover Academy is beyond you, sweetheart. Now you're going to have to get out here and promote this, because people are going to, they need Beyond the Cover. They need the kids need Beyond the Cover, so they can discover their actual God-given gifts. You are who I call to help them find their gifts. So I expect you, as my child, to do what I have you to do. Now, as his child, I am, extremely out of my comfort zone. I don't come out here and just talk, with things that, I'm, that's getting me out here. Like, I have to get out here and actually talk about this. But I'm getting everything together because God is perfecting everything so everything can be in decency and order. But in this place, right here, Beyond the Cover Academy, they're going to be able to experience their gifts. I'm not allowing any and everybody to be the teachers up in here, because they're going to have to be exemppreneurs. They're going to have to be examples. They're going to actually have to live this life, sweethearts. So there's not no play up in here, because it's all about God up in here. So that's why I don't allow any and everyone to teach these kids, because they're going to have to be loving, caring. It's going to have to be the total opposite of the school. We cannot continue to do the same thing as the school and judge these kids and stop these kids and prevent these kids from being kids and from finding their gifts. We can't listen to them. Oh, they kids, they don't know. My kids, how are your kids that young and they're entrepreneurs? Because that's what they are. How did they know? They were already doing this. My son was already doing art. I just peeped it and started investing in what he likes to do. That's what it is. Quit trying to tell them what to do. We don't know what they want to do until we listen. Shut up, watch, and listen. We don't want to listen. We don't want to do nothing because we got to run things. You don't know how to run things if you ain't running your life. They running you. Why you thinking you got everything figured out? You don't. I didn't. Before God had put me into this faith realm, I had no clue. I thought I was living right. I thought, I got a job and I work for my kids and I do what I'm supposed to do. That's what I was doing. So again, I'm not judging anyone or acting as if, people that have jobs is so wrong and a lot of that. I'm not saying that because I don't know. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. Period. I've learned that from doing my Destined to Be classes since 2017. I've learned that, hey, you can try to help everybody find their gifts or whatever, but maybe some people have to use their gifts in the job. They have to be, continue to be told what to do. Some people are entrepreneurs that prefer you not to tell them what to do and they just do it. We know how to do it without being told. We can wake up and be ambitious and do the things that we want to do. Even if we don't see the outcome that we wanted, we entrepreneurs have that faith, whether they think that they have faith or not. That's faith, because we understand that, hey, we want everybody to just buy our stuff, and then we put this out. This is a great idea, and this is from God, so it's going to just pop out, and we're going to. No, that's not how it works, because God's testing you too, sweetheart. So why are you confused? Well, why is this not working out? Because God, He gave it to me, but then all of a sudden, now I'm struggling, all this and that, and all that. Well, didn't the people that was being delivered from Egypt, didn't it get harder on them before it got great, before He delivered them out of Egypt? So again, it's going to get harder on us. It's going to look harder. It's going to seem like, what in the world? And what am I doing? Oh my gosh. And then at the end of the tunnel, it's going to be bright. We're going to be like, wow, I'm glad I made it. It was dark. It was really dark. I was scared. It was so long. I didn't know when I was going to get to the end, to the light. But now that I'm at the light, there's nothing that's going to stop me because I'm going to keep going. I got to keep going until I see that light. That's what we have to do. No matter what is distracting us, no matter what bug pop out while we're in that tunnel or whatever that's like, we cannot be distracted. Period. We can't be distracted over this signal. We can't be distracted over the little bitty things. It's going to happen. He is trying to prevent you from getting the word. He's trying to prevent you from getting a message from God. You're so distracted over everything that you got to do, that you feel like you have to do. Trust me, I know. When I had first became a single mom, I was like, oh my goodness, everything's on me. Oh my God, I got to do this. Don't nobody care about my kids like me, and I. I said this. So I was working. I was going to college. I was doing all the things that I thought was right and that I was supposed to do for these kids. And then God was like, no, what you not going to do? And I'm like, no, I'm providing for my kids, and this is the way the world is now. Duh, God is before now. He's beyond this. He's beyond today. So who are we talking to? Like He said, who gave you that mouth, sweetheart? Stop it, because He will mute you real quick. Don't play with it. Now, again, we cannot continue to be distracted. Schools are distractions from God. And I have to say this. This is the uncomfortable thing that I was telling y'all, that God is like, what you are going to do, because they need to know this. I'm like, oh, Lord, it's going to make people think that, it's going to cause. He was like, I ain't worried about that. I got that. I already know what it's going to do. Just like He told Moses. It was like, Pharaoh, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. And see, I don't think Moses heard that part. But God hardened Pharaoh's heart. so that but it all works together for the good of those who love the Lord. It still worked out. They still got delivered. They didn't get delivered the way that they thought that they was going to get delivered. You're not going to get delivered, and you're not going to change that system. That's their system. You have to start your own system. And that's what God has me to do with this Beyond the Cover. It's his system. It's beyond this system. We're not going to do anything like this system. We're going to listen to these kids. We're going to love on these kids. We're going to nurture their gifts. We're going to let them explore their own gifts. That's why they have all these 13 rooms, so that they can explore whatever it is. I'm not going to tell them, no, you need to go in there. You need to go in there. No, go into whatever room that you want to go in. And then we're going to go in there. And if they figure out that, hey, I thought I liked music, but I don't, I want to do photography. Well, they can do photography. It's whatever they want to do. I'm not telling them nothing. They're going to have to explore and figure this out on their own. And then once they get it and they're like, look, I know I want to do this, then that's when we're going to explore, and I'm going to teach them the other part. But we're going to learn about faith, self-discipline, all types of stuff for the kids. And then I might have to add some of that to the adults classes, to my See Destiny B classes, because, some of these adults need some self-discipline. You can't spend your money the way you want to spend it when you have this big grand picture. Now, God will allow you to. I had so many vacations last year during the pandemic that I was thinking, this year God is going to let me, I'm just going to be traveling. But this year I'm not able, not that I don't have the money, but I have a bigger thing that I have to do first. Now, once I get this big thing out the way, then God is going to let me, honey, I'm telling you, it's going to be every day. So, it's a sacrifice that we have to do. But if we get distracted off the things that we want to do and how we want to do it, and we want it now, and we need it now, and I need my money and I need it now, then you're going to get that little now money. That's now, right now, since you have to have that little bitty money now. So if you want that little bitty money now, go ahead and continue to get that little bitty money. And yes, I'm going to keep saying that the way I'm saying it, because that's what it is. Because that's how you're looking in God's eyes. You rather take this little bit than instead of what he has, because you don't want to work for it. I do work, and I work hard at my job to make who prospers. Oh, I'm living it. You're not living your life. That's why you're agitated. You know that this is preventing you from doing what you actually love to do. You're trying to squeeze in your little time for what you like to do at the end of working for somebody, spending your whole day working for somebody else. That is preventing you, not me. That is. So don't get agitated with me because you decided to do what you wanted to do. Don't get agitated with my father because you decided to do that. You want to stay in that stuck mind, that small mind frame of thinking that you have to do this now. I was in that mind frame. I'm so glad he renewed my mind and got me out of that so that I could be prosperous, so I can help others, so that he can entrust me with more so I can do more for his people. Period. But we keep allowing these distractions to distract us off the very thing. Distractions is something that prevents you from doing something else. If you Google it, like y'all like to do, Google it. It's something that distracts you from doing the very thing that God has you to do. It distracts you from doing something else. So that's just distracting you from doing what God has you to do. Period. No sugarcoating, no nothing. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for, oh, come on now, let me see who's looking. Oh, yes. Oh, no, I don't do that. Because I don't need to see who you are or what's going on or whatever. I know that whatever I'm saying is going to hit whoever is needed to hit. Period. When it hit me, it did not feel good. I'm like, oh, had me feeling some type of way like, whatever. I had a little attitude, like, they ain't talking to me because I'm that loud. But in reality, why I'm so defensive was because in reality, I know I wasn't that. But instead of me getting defensive off of the person, the deliverer, I should have been defensive on myself. Shanita, why are you not that? What are you doing that's making you not that? Now, if you think that you're not what you're doing now, then stop doing what you're doing now. Because that's what's preventing you from being able to hear and do the things that God has you to do. Because you're still in sin. You're still being conformed to the things of this world. You're still being acceptable for the things that they are saying is acceptable. When God strictly said that that's not acceptable. So if God tells you that that's not acceptable, that's what it is. Are we supposed to love things that are not acceptable? Are we supposed to love beings? Yes, because we're supposed to love our enemies. So, with that being said, we clearly know our enemies did something wrong to us. They're doing something wrong. So, but we still have to love them. So, of course, we have to love, people, everybody. But just because I love someone don't mean that I have to accept what they are doing. That don't mean that I am in agreement. Because I don't come into agreement with the things of this world. I'll come into agreement with the things of God. So anything that's outside of God, Shanidra is not in agreement with. I don't agree with that. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not in agreement with that. But it's not that I just say I'm not in agreement with it. I get deeper into it. I still don't treat people differently. And I still actually talk to people. I actually listen to find out how in the world did they get here? Why do you not know yourself? Why do you not know that you are a woman or a male? What has happened? What has caused you to lose your own identity? What has gotten you in this much of a denial state that you can't even look in the mirror and see what you are? You can't even see that you are a man or a woman. What has happened? We have to get to the root of things. Let's dig deep. Yes, that's beyond the cover. That's all of that. Let's dig deep. That's the YouTube show. So if you want to find us on YouTube, it's Let's Dig Deep. We digging deep up in here. People are not just all of a sudden acting like this out of nowhere. That's unnatural. If we know that this is an unnatural thing, therefore, we need to figure out what has caused this unnatural feeling or unnatural way in their life to make them think that this is natural. Well, one, television. Everywhere they look, they seeing that this is okay in the world's eyes. But in God's eyes, it's a disgrace. This is not what he had designed us to do. We're supposed to procreate. We cannot procreate. We're being distracted. Distractions. This is distracting us from procreating, preventing us. Distraction is preventing you from doing something else. This is preventing you from being able to procreate. Why do you not know who you are? Why do you look in the mirror and see something else? What is causing that? Let's get to the root. And I'm going to shut up. I'm going to ask you that question. And I'm going to shut completely up. Because I want to know from you what has happened to you. And once I can hear from you, the person, instead of making assumptions of what I think it is, and I can listen to you and find out, then I can help you. That's what it is. Okay. That's what happened. And sometimes God won't even allow me to tell you. Because sometimes people have to just talk it out so that they can hear themselves talk. But if they're mute all the time, they can't hear themselves talk because they're just taught to shut up. But we're the ones that really need to shut up and be slow to speak and quick to listen. That's what God said. So why we're not doing that? I listen to my children. I listen. You can talk to. That's why they're the way they are. Not because they don't go through nothing that they haven't been through life or nothing has ever happened to them. It's because I talk to them. I listen. I listen to my kids. What is going on? And if they can't talk, I'm finding a way. I found out my son was an artist because he was not talking. That's how I am. You ain't gonna talk? Okay. What do I need to do? Because I'm gonna find out what is wrong with you. And I want to hear it strictly from you. I don't want to hear from nobody else what they think is wrong. Because if that's the case, I can think and assume my own self. But I want to know from you what is wrong with you. So if I see you are drawing in this tablet, then I'm about to buy you all types of art stuff. That's what I did with my son. If that's how he expresses himself, that's why I have that type of business for him, because that's what he does. That's how he expresses his emotions. Now, that's how he did express his emotions when he didn't know how to. But now he talks. We get deep up in here. But he still draws out stuff. His art has meaning. It is not what it looks like. It's beyond that. Because I can look at it and be like, oh, that's a pretty eye. You wanted it colorful. And he's like, no. The world is colorful in my eyes. And I see this, and it's sad because people focus on, and I'm like, wow, it's deeper. It's beyond the cover. But until we discover what it is that they like to do, when we actually listen to them and actually observe and watch what they like to do. My daughter was cutting up clothes. And instead of me fussing, I'm not going to lie and say that, I didn't fuss at the beginning because, you buy stuff, you don't want them cutting it up. But, God is in control of me. So, it was like, chill out. I'm like, she cutting up the stuff. She cutting up the stuff. I just bought that dang on doll and she cutting up the clothes. Why she keep cutting up? Every time I buy her buy her doll, she want to cut up the clothes. But, when she came to me, because, I noticed it, but I didn't say nothing. And when she came to me, after I saw her cutting up clothes, and she came to me with a different design on the clothes, and she made it look better than what it did, I was like, oh, okay, this is my child right here. This is my child. So I started investing in that. That's what she was doing without me. I didn't tell her or make her do any of that. That's what she was doing. The bracelets, that's what she was doing. She was doing all of this on her own. So Beyond the Cover Academy is going to allow people, the kids and the adults, to discover what they have. If they want to do nails, I have a whole nail salon with the foot spa and all of that for them to feel like they're in there, to see if this is how they want to orchestrate it, if this is what they want to do. There's not going to be any distracting them and me telling them what they need to be doing. They're going to find what they need to be doing. And then they're going to get help. They're going to get an exampreneur, someone that's in that field doing that very thing that they're wanting to do, that's living this, that's doing this now. They're going to learn from that type of person on how to do it properly. But before that, there's nothing that we can do. We cannot continue to tell and live our lives through our kids. Oh, well, I was wanting to do this, so I'm forcing my child to be a cheerleader or a basketball player because I was a basketball player, or I wasn't a basketball player and I wanted to be. No, that's what we're not going to do. You should have did that. You didn't do it all well. Let them live their lives. That's what we're going to do. So Beyond the Cover Academy is going beyond the cover, no matter what the kid may look like or whatever. Oh, that's a bad kid. That's because the kid ain't been treated right. Oh, what you trying to say about the parent? Again, if you listen and you shut up before I can finish talking, you would know that I'm saying, when I say that the child is not being treated right, I'm not saying by the parent. I'm saying that they are not being treated the way that they need to be treated to nurture. They're not being nurtured. The school is not nurturing their gifts. So it has nothing to do with the parent. Trust me, I have 2 children of my own. I know how children are, and I know how they can be, and they're the opposite sometimes of what we teach them. We'll be like, what the heck? Why are you acting like this? And I ain't taught you to do that. My kids do it. As perfect as y'all may think they be doing some weird stuff that I'll be like, what the heck? Chill out real quick. Get some act right. So, again, I'm not blaming parents, period. Now, we'll get to all the other stuff, but Beyond the Cover Academy this place that I'm in right now. They're going to see a talk show. They're going to see that, hey, I can do a talk show. They're not going to be limited. They're going to see through me and other exampreneurs that, hey, I want to do music and I want to do photography and I want to do acting and all of that. Well, you can do all of that. But I don't want to. Yes, you can do all of that. I'm doing photography. I'm doing the show. I'm doing these kids. Beyond the Cover Academy. I'm doing. I have a boutique. All of this. I'm doing all of this at once with God. So I'm not limiting these kids either. And it's going to be all in one thing. So it's not going to be too stressful on the parents of trying to get them here and there and they want to do this and that want to do that. No. We're cutting all of that because it's all in one place. We have enough rooms for them to figure it out. And you're just going to pay the one fee for them to become who they're destined to be. Again, that's what he started me off on. That's exactly what it is. It's a faith-based school. Faith-based school. So I'm going to teach them about faith. These kids were like, wow, I can make my own money just by making stuff that I like to make. Yes. These kids were so excited. They was wanting to make, more stuff. Well, I want to make some more stuff so I can make some more money. That can prevent them from going to drugs and working a job. These little jobs is making them go to drugs because they're like, that ain't enough money. These kids realizing that ain't enough money. But instead of us investing in their gifts, why are you not wanting to go to college? I didn't even go to a real college. I went to a community college because college wasn't even for me. College didn't even really help me, period. The co-starters class helped me more than anything at the Urban League. I promote them all day, every day. Because they made me do all the work. You're going to have to go research. You're going to have to look at this. You're going to have to. Well, I'm like, well, what do y'all want to help me with? We are helping. I'm like, well, you saying I got to do all this stuff. I mean, I'm here to learn. He was like, exactly. And we're teaching you. And you're learning how to do this on your own. This is your business. This is your vision. You're going to have to do it. Boom. And that's exactly what business is. You're going to have to figure this out. You're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to. There's not going to be nobody to tell you all of this stuff. You got to figure it out. You got to do your research. You got to do this. You got to do that. Yes. No, the Urban League helped me. They didn't keep me in a book and make me have to keep having work to do. We did have to do some assignments, but it wasn't like how it is in school. And I like that. That's how I learn, by doing stuff. So, if anything, the Urban League helped me out. If anything, I'm sending people there. The adults that, I may not can deal with right now, I'm going to send them there. Because TC will be on you, sweetheart. And Felix was a little bit easier on me. But TC, he will get you right. He don't sugarcoat nothing. He will get you right. So, that's what it is. We cannot continue to be distracted on what we think is right. That's why he renews our mind. It's like, oh, dang, I don't even think like that no more. I can't even see myself thinking like that no more. It's so minute to me now. But it's not that I'm looking at people as, oh, well, you're beneath me or anything like that. No, I'm telling you, look, I was like that, so I can talk to you about it. I hate people that ain't going through or haven't been through nothing that I've been through trying to tell me something. So that's why I tell y'all about me and how I can talk to you guys, because that was me. I thought all of this stuff until God changed me, until he renewed me in my mind. So I'm not telling you something that I heard or watched somebody else do, whatever. I'm telling you what I'm living. The reason why, when people have all these excuses about kids, and I got kids, and did you know I had kids? I got 2 kids that's in elementary school. Did you know that? Did you know that they were homeschooled? Did you know that God is going to have me do independent homeschooling? Yes, this year I'm going to have to do independent homeschooling. That means they're going to strictly learn exactly what I teach them. Now, is that easier on me with running a business and all that stuff? Because, you tell me these things like I don't know. Well, it's hard running the business and I got kids and I'm on my own. What do you mean? Like, I'm doing this too. But you are successful. I wasn't successful at the beginning. Like, this is a process. This is not an overnight thing. That's why you see these ones that are overnight that quickly come out and make all this money and they're quickly poor. I don't want to be quickly poor. I want to be prosperous forever. So I'm going to quickly continue to do what God has me to do so I can be prosperous in everything that he has me to do. Now, even today, I could say that was like a distraction because I know that God has me to go on this path of independent homeschooling for my children for next year. They're not going to be going to K-12 or nothing. They're going to be strictly Beyond the Cover Academy. So I know that that's what God has me to do. But today, since they had TCAL, now before God told me this, I was telling everybody I'm sending them back to school. COVID basically gone. My son will be all right with his asthma. Whoop-de-whoop. They're going back to school. That's what I was saying before God told me about what I was going to do. And today, now that they have TCAL, I was able to drop them off and I was like, wow, I can think, I don't have no distractions and, this is awesome. They need to go back to school. But what is it? How is this benefiting my children? Is this getting them towards what God has them to do? Or is this just beneficial to me? And if it's just benefiting me, then that's not of God automatically. Because what God has us to do benefits everyone, not just ourselves. So what God has you to do is going to benefit others. You have to go through it. I had to go through all of this with 2 kids. I didn't understand like why me and all this stuff, but I had some input in it. I'm the one that had kids out of wedlock. I'm the one that did this. So I'm paying for my sins. But God still, even in that, when we think that it's all over and we have sinned too much, God is like, no, you're right where I have you to be. I needed you to go through all of that. Since you decided to go on that path, that's still going to lead you to the path that I have you. Period. You just had a little detour, but I got you back on track. Now we're on the main roads. So now I'm going to keep trucking this way. Then you get distracted again and you venture over there and you wreck. I'm going to get you out of that wreck and I'm going to get you back on track. That's all it is. I used to freak out like, oh my gosh, I got off track. Oh my gosh, Lord, oh Lord. He's like, chill out. I forgave you for that. Now, just like our kids, we still want to get punished. We're still going to have to, reap what we sowed and, we're going to have to suffer a little bit because, we went the opposite way, just like Jonah. But you see, Jonah got some act right real quick that helped him for him to be in that uncomfortable situation that helped Jonah. When God delivered him out of there, he had some act right. Like, oh, God, where do you have me to go? Look, period. Like, well, I'm not going to do. So, it's not about what we want to do. Of course, it's seemingly to be more peaceful when I can just talk to you guys and my kids are, supervised by someone else and, whatever. But with my calling, stuff like this isn't really peaceful for me because it's like, I know the deeper revelation of it. I know what God is really wanting, and I know that this is not really acceptable to him. So that's why this is ending after this year, because he's not going to have me to do something that's out of order that's going to get me hemmed up in this world, even though this world can't hem me up because God. But anyways, he's going to have me do things in decency and order, let them finish this out because it's still part of their process for them to see the difference. And so that they can really stay on this path, because they're going to see once they get out of this strict distracting place and they are actually able to be where God has them to be, and they're going to feel that freedom and they're going to feel themselves and they're going to find their identity in God. They're going to know who they are in God. It's an amazing feeling. I hate that it took me 30 something years to get it. But that was part of my process because it was bigger than I am. And I have to be here as a light for others that may be, on the journey that I started out on. And they're probably confused, like, what in the world? And now they're able to see someone like, hey, she had 2 kids, no help, and look at her now. So this is for you. Like, this is for it wasn't for me. I didn't understand it at first. I was like, what in the world? Why is it so hard? I'm trying to do what is right and what God has me to do. Why is it even harder? It seems like everything is harder on me. Why is that? And God is like, because I have to see. He's testing us. It's all about faith. I'm telling you. Like, we cannot please him without having faith in him. In God. I read that either Tuesday or Thursday of last week. You're going to have to go look at which video it was. But I told you guys, we cannot even please God without faith. We have to have faith in God. That's the only way we can please God. Period. We cannot please him any other way but having faith in him. So we have to get rid of these distractions. We have to get rid of the things that is preventing us. A distraction is something that prevents you from doing something else. So we have to get rid of those distractions. That man or woman, that job, that whatever it is that's distracting us. Now the kids we can't get rid of now. That's how I know that's one of our biggest distractions. It's one of mine. But I've learned to maneuver around it, move accordingly. I already know how they act. I already know what they're going to try to do. So I'm going to nip that in the bud before I even do this and that and the other. I'm going to let them know what it is and what it's going to be. And that's what it is. Now, that's how I have to do it. Now, they still come, mama, 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 mama. And, get on my nerves. But I know how to, not get distracted by that. That's why when I had all these 50 million kids at this Beyond the Cover Academy, people would ask me, how do you deal with so many kids calling your name at once? All I heard the whole time is Nidra, Nidra, Nidra. Yes, because I hear that all the time at home. So God was just preparing me for what he has called me to do. I'm able to stay focused on the task that I have before me and not get distracted easily. Now, do I get distracted? Yes. But now that I'm learning what my distractions are and what's trying to prevent me from doing what I'm supposed to do, because something to pop up and I'm like, dang, what was I supposed to do? That's a distraction. But I'll click back in like, I'll do that later. Or a call will come in, like a call just came in just now. That's going to have to wait till later because I have to finish doing what I am focused on doing. I can't be distracted and be like, hold on, everybody. Let me take this call in the middle of my live. Let me stop doing what God has me to do so I can handle this because this call just came in right now, so I need to. No, it's going to have to wait. That's what it is. So, distractions is something that prevents you from doing something else. It is extreme agitation. That's why you're extremely agitated at that job. That's why you're extremely agitated with that man or that woman, because they're preventing you from doing the thing that you know you want to do. So you have to get rid of those distractions. The only distractions you cannot get rid of are these kids. But that's growing you up and helping you to be able to deal and not get easily distracted. If you can deal with your kids and still be able to maneuver and do all this stuff, then you can do anything. If our kids can, because that's the only ones we can tolerate doing the most. The only one. So once we learn that, patience, because it takes a lot of patience and having faith. It takes patience in this field. You have to have some patience. And I'm talking from someone that had little patience. I had really nothing. I had no patience, zero tolerance. That's how I was. And I am still sleekly zero tolerance on nonsense, the things that are not of God, zero tolerance. But it's not on everything. Now I have more patience to listen. Now I have more patience to hear people out. So that's what it is. We're going to be on the cover so that we can discover what it is that God has us to do. We're going to stop being easily distracted on the things that are preventing us from doing what He has us to do. Again, if you want to come to the luncheon tomorrow here at Beyond the Cover Academy, if you want to just be nosy and look and see what is over here, you can do that. But you got to pay $10 so that you can be fed. And, we can have enough journals for everybody and, how I like to do. So, that's what it is. So, let's go beyond the cover so that we can discover what it is that God has us to do. Now, I'm going to play the video so that you guys can see the channels that we are on right now. And I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But you can also catch Beyond the Cover or Let's Dig. On YouTube, it's called Let's Dig Deep. Roku is Beyond the Cover. On the local channels, it's Beyond the Cover. And of course, right here, it's Beyond the Cover, but it's on Shanidra Matthews' Facebook, Sea Portraits, my LinkedIn, and my YouTube. So I'm going to play that video, and we're going to end it. Let's go beyond the cover. Let's stop being distracted. Let's stop being conformed to the things of this world, and be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind. So that's all I have for you guys on today.
Only two dance, taking a chance.